Let's begin the dialogue right now. All right, this is the dialogue of the Liberia Media for Democratic Initiatives. Today our team comes to you from Zwedro at the Horn of Liberia's southeastern region. Today we are here to talk about revenue collection. The truth is that our new government purely says it has no money. It needs the money from its people to run. To do that, we must ensure a robust collection of the taxes in this country. So we are on the road show of the Liberia Revenue Authority, tax education road show, educating the community on why, when, where, and how to pay taxes and who to pay it to. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to you today to try and make impact and to tell you why you must pay taxes. Before we continue, let's stand up together to take the national anthem of Liberia. Please sing it. Azwedro on the dialogue. Here, this glorious land shall long be ours, though no gladness with Thank you. Clap for Liberia. Have your seats. On the dialogue today. Today is a great day that the Lord has made. What you eat cannot be free. You must pay for it. This is a word of capitalism now. Because we don't want to pay for anything. That's why everything is funny in this country. Somebody wants to pray for us, please? Yes, ma'am, come.
Let us turn to our feet, please. And let's bow our heads in prayer. Holy Spirit of the Most High God, we thank you this time. We thank you for our brothers that have traveled this long distance to come to us, to make us to understand things that we do not understand and we didn't even know. Lord, we want to thank you for those that are invited here, we that are already here, and those that are yet on their way to be here. We pray that you hasten our steps as we are about to start this meeting, or we have already started this meeting, so that we all will be blessed through this program in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right. Thank you, Auntie, for praying for us. God is one. Muslims say Amina. We are the ones dividing God, but God are one. He just want you to do good. Don't cheat somebody that all go on. Now, we want to know from a man or a woman or anybody who has small ideas on what happened before 1980, what we used to call hot tax. What do you remember happened here? People got idea what used to happen before 1980 when they come for the hot tax. Huh? Anybody can remember that? Yeah, big brother, come.
Well, my name is Anthony Seven.
Anthony.
What I saw those days was I seen messenger or soldier man come in a town and just set a sandy on the ground and collect tax like rice, chicken air, and before the money they want. And the one that just dash for him. And you're going to tow that low, maybe from Ziatan to go from Ziatan to Canaan, from Canaan to Zwedru. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
In the year 1976.
76. 4 years down the road, something changed. Papa, we can remember you can. You can come? You able? Okay, please come. This thing that not one person talk will come to argue. So when we're ready to pay, we can't argue. Huh? Let's do the argument now. Thank you, Papa. That's what we came for. All right. Okay. Do it your way. Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir. What do you remember before 1980? You were here in Grangida or where?
Yes.
Okay. What used to happen here?
What I can remember in the year 1980, at times, sometimes when we go low, we can see army people in the town.
Yeah.
They say they came to collect taxes. But before collecting our taxes, chickens have to die. We have to collect copper rice for the people, food and all. And after that, the red that we collected, we have to select somebody to go with them to tow that red and carry. So that all the things we experienced from that time.
What do you think about that? Was that good or bad?
It was not the right thing to me.
What should have been the right way?
To be the right way, if you come to collect your taxes.
Yeah.
But you are not there to suppress people, to take whatsoever they don't have from them.
Okay. All right. So that was bad. The
So
other
that was
extra thing they took. And
necessary to us with it.
suppose your high here too. You ain't want to pay.
Huh?
Maybe you will get too much high here.
No, we don't hire. We even afraid of those army people when they are coming. We are dreaming.
I know.
If you pay higher, the people will do whatsoever they want to do to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Any woman that wants to say what they remember? Any woman? Okay. Very good examples. Now, times have changed. Even around the world. Black man has become president of the place where they say black men were not even supposed to sit down on bus, to sit down in taxi. Black man rode the biggest car, the Beast. He stopped there. 3 days ago, they play what they say. In fact, they play what the white black business started from. What they say, black man can't come close. Guess what? The black girl married the prince. Black girl inside the Queen Palace now. Huh? Things have changed. We must change. So, 1980, Samuel Doe, your own man from right here, Tucson, and his man Kwiwon Kwadan, Nat Poliadan, Johnny Bordan, all those guys, they took the government by force and they accused the government of William Talbot. They had been in power 130 years before that. They accused them of taking the money, getting the taxes and not using it to build good things. And they simply put it in one phrase. 2 words, 1 phrase: rampant corruption. That was the reason for which they overthrew the government. 5 years down the road, in 1985, they had a split in their camp. The other guys said, the government that said the other people were rampantly corrupt, they too are now corrupt. They wanted to change them too. They didn't make it. Samuel Doe returned to power. In 1989, a rebellion ensued. Charles Taylor, one of us, led that rebellion. It dragged on. Doe got killed. And there was a mixture of all kinds of struggles. But in 1980, Doe said, no more tax. Our people were suffering too much. So let the tax business stop. You see? No hot tax. That time they were paying hay tax. Now, then Doe said, no, that thing there must stop. Our people suffering. So since that time, you and myself have not been paying hay and hot tax. New thing is coming now. We have to, they say we got to pay tax because little the Doe and others know that the money they saw that were looking plenty in their eye, that the money from you, that money had to be coming. The only other thing we needed to do was to find a civilized way to collect that money. Like my brother said, the way they were doing it, the old man said, we're not civilized. You come for your tithe, then you're taking chicken, you're taking goat. What did goat do to you too? So now our government says we should pay not hay tax anymore, but we must pay for the houses. So we want to come and tell you today what are the taxes you should pay, how you will pay, when you will pay, who you will pay to, and then what they should do with that money. You should suggest it. When they don't do it, then you have a claim. So we want to listen to our own son, Gabi. Gabi Azam will present to you the taxes we must pay now, why we must pay, when we must pay, how different it is from before 1980. They want different now. So what Samuel Doe then did had some good inside. They said it must stop. They stop it, but we're coming back with it, but we're coming back different way now. That you will not come here and take people chicken and goat. Only you who make money now will pay tax, meaning you who build house, you who working, you who making business. Once you got income, once you get money to eat, that money you get to eat will want some on it. That's what they call income. Gabi Zwedro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Colley. Good morning, my people. All right. Thank you very much for coming to listen to this talk today. Today we are here representing the Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA. At the LRA, it is our job to collect lawful revenue. We collect the taxes that are paid by you. That is our job. When we collect the money, then it is placed in the government account called General Revenue Account. And that money is being distributed by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Our job is just to collect the money from you. We'll give you bill, you go to the bank, you pay. Our collectors in the county come to you, you pay. They go to Monrovia, make report, and that money is put in the government account. And the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning now distribute the money based on the budgetary allocation. How much go to education, how much go to health service, how much for agriculture, and all of those ones. The first thing we need to know this morning, like our big brother said, we've heard recently that the budget for the year has been sent to the upper and lower house. Right now they are debating the budget. But what we need to understand is what those people are debating in the house is just a piece of paper. There is no money in the Central Bank of Liberia called budget. There is no money in Finance Ministry called budget. That paper the people debating. They think they call that budget, the money that make up the budget is the taxes that you and I pay. So if you don't pay your tax, there is no budget. If you don't pay your tax, there will be no allocation for education, for health, for even your county development fund. Because the money you pay as taxes is what comes back as county development fund, payment for the police, payment for the doctors, and what have you. So that is the importance of the budget. And another thing we need to know before we start the tax issue, the NGOs that used to come around here every time, do you see them again? They have reduced. Only one you can see. Nobody bringing free money for us again. So our taxes, if they were important in the past, it is now very, very important to us. Because if we don't pay those taxes, there will be no budget. And if there is no budget, our country will not operate. So that's the importance of the taxes you are paying. So even if it's $1 US you pay, $5 US you pay, if you calculate all of those $1 and $5 and put it together, it will be equal to the 500 million plus budget that they are debating today. And if we don't pay this money that we are talking about, then the next thing you hear on the radio is budget shortfall. Now when they say budget shortfall, they're not medicine or they're not somebody stealing the money. No. Budget shortfall is because the taxes we're supposed to collect, we're not collecting it. People not paying. Once people don't pay the taxes, we're not able to collect the taxes, then the budget can cut because we're not able to raise all the money. Then we'll have budget shortfall. So that is the importance of the taxes we pay. Now, who is supposed to pay this tax? Now, everybody business. Unlike the past, like you discuss here, when you not pay tax, the people will come, catch you, beat you, and put you under the sun. You're forced to pay. Today, it changed. The government say people who pay taxes are people who have income, meaning you're working, you get salary, you're making business, you get farm, and you're selling. We not say the rest farm what you made that you and your family eating. No. They get some people who can make farm and sell the product. We call it commercial farming. People who make farm, people who get businesses, people who build houses, people who renting their houses and even living in it. Those are people who pay. So if you don't want to pay tax in Liberia today, don't work, don't own property, don't do business, don't make farm and sell. Don't do anything. Just sit down to your house. When your man call you eat. Nobody will come to you for tax. So that only lazy men can pay tax. But once you're working, you get income, you get business, you get property, you get farm, and you're selling the product you're supposed to pay. But the taxes different. So that the different taxes are coming discussed with you today. Now, the most important one that we are going to start with is we call it real property tax. In the past, they used to call it hot tax. You bake kitchen set, you will pay tax on it. Anything you get, whether like hot, that small less on it, you and your family inside, you will pay. But today, there are stages. There are certain hot sets you can't pay. So let's discuss those one. Now, We get 4 major kinds of real estate property. The first one, we call it residential property. Now, when they say residential, like the house you build for you and your family. Nobody renting inside, nobody living inside paying money to you. Only you and your family living inside. We call that one residential property. Then we get a commercial property. That one, you build a house, then you put it on a rent. You rent it to NGO, you rent it to business people, or sometimes you and your family, you get 3-bedroom hall. You and your family in 2 rooms, then you rent 1 room. That commercial property there. Or you build a house, then you build shop right beside the house. That commercial property. Or again, you build a house, then you get your own NGO. Then you take 1 room in the house and make it your NGO office. That commercial right there. That one get your own different price to pay. Then we get vacant land. We get some land in all Israel here. Nobody build house on it. Some people just buy the land, it's sitting down there. They're not doing nothing. Don't think because you not put house on the land, then it's free. Government say you will pay on it too. It get your own price. Then we get farmland. Some people get farmland. They're making farm on it. We're not talking about the rest farm where you make for you and your family. You plant maybe sugar cane, you plant cocoa, rubber. Those are farmland. You pay on it. Then we also have farmland outside city. Like you go play the Ziatan, our papa there, Kunabo, they get 1,000 acres of land, 2,000 acres of land. All the one you can pay tax on it. But the taxes different. So let's discuss the taxes now. We'll start with residential property, the one where you and your family living in. Now the government say under our tax law, the taxes on your residential property is 1/4% of the value of the property. 1/4% of the value of the property. So let's break that one down because they're not percentage business we come here for. So we use example. Is it possible for somebody to use 10,000 US to build 1 house? Is it possible? Very possible. Some people can use 100,000. Some people can use 1 million. It depends on your pocket. The place where your pocket reach, that the place you can build. Some people can even use 1,000 US to build house. You go in the interior. Some other people can use 500 US. They just buy a little zinc. They dub the hole, they put zinc over it. And so it depends on your pocket. Now what we say, it depends on the value of your house. Now how you can pay the tax. So let's take example, $10,000. If your house is valued 10,000 United States dollars, the tax on that house for the whole year, which is 1/4%, is $25 US. If you use 10,000 US dollars to build your house, the tax on that house for 1 year is $25 US. Now what you pay for the whole year. And that money you can pay it from January to June 30th. The 31st of June, that time finish. When you not pay that money now, when we enter July now, then we put something we call penalty and interest on it. But we want you to be paying penalty and interest, so we're teaching you the time to pay. Now that $10,000 house I tell you about, $25. Suppose you use $5,000 to build your house. Instead of $25 now, the whole year you pay $12.50. Then our papa then was way in Kunabo, where you maybe $1,000 to build a little house. The tax on that one, that $2.50. And you know the money here, you're not forced to pay US. When you not get US, you can pay Liberian dollar. But you just use the rate. Central bank can put all rate every month. That's not the rate what the money changer man is using you. Right now the money changer man is the rate at 138, 139. But central bank rate is approximately 132. It not reach to that 38, 39. So that central bank rate you can use, you calculate, then you pay your money in Liberian dollars. You're not forced to pay US. So that residential property. Then even in residential property, I was telling you about one you can't pay. You know which one you can pay? Our law say if your house is built of natural resource, meaning you take mud, you dub your house, you use stake, you put a stake down, then you call the town people, you all dub the house, they help you, you just go rent for them, they eat, they drink, then they dub your house for you, then you bring your papo, your tash, you put it over the house, you use mud, you plaster your lay hole, you rub mud all inside it. Government say that one, no tax on it. Because you not pay any money to buy anything to put on our house. All the things you use that natural resource. But I say you must move your zin over the hot in every year and put papo there now because you not want to pay tax. When you not pay the tax, no government budget. That one that people were way in the interior. So you are in Zedru now, you say the post say tax, can pay tax. So I come and move in over my hall, I put tax there. That cement where you used to pay the hall, you will pay for it too. So that the people who can pay when it comes to residential. So you understand the residential? All right. Now let's go to the commercial people. Commercial, I said, if you buy your house and you rent it to people, we call it commercial. You're making business with it. All the store and shop then around here that people buy the house and rent it to the business people. They're getting money from it, so they pay tax. Now their owner value is 1.5% of the value of the property. 1.5%. So let's use the same $10,000. If the man take $10,000 and buy his house, then he rent it to people. The business people take the house, they're doing business inside. The government say you pay 1.5% of the value of that house. If you calculate 1.5% of 10,000 is what? $150 US for the whole year that you will pay because you're doing business inside the house. Now, if it was value 100,000, then you know it's different, right? 1.5% would be what? $1,500 for the whole year because that house you pay plenty of money to pay it. So it depends on the value of the property. 1.5% for business or commercial property. So no people here get a house, they build it and they're renting it to people. So the people that are renting inside, when they pay, you got to pay that 1%, 1.5% real estate to government. That's the second group. Then we come to the third one, we call it vacant land. Some people just get a land and sitting down there. Their friend people building houses, developing Zwedru. Their umpire is just there, he say, a land uno. Every day when you and your man ready to talk, let me show you my land. There's my land there. You don't want to do nothing on the land. You know what the government say? That land what you keeping, that empty land, the tax what they put on it, it plenty more than the one on your house. What you and your family living in. You know what the government do it for? The government want you to develop the county. The government want you to develop Zwedru. You just keeping vacant land, you're not doing nothing with it, sitting down there. Government say, you must develop the place. Build something on our land. When you're not able, call your children, let it build on it. When you're not able, sell it. But when government not forcing you to sell, but when you not want to do it, you will pay the tax. You know what the tax is? And we say when your horse value 10,000, your tax are $25 for the whole year. If your land, vacant land is valued $1,000, the tax on that land for the whole year are $35 US. So you see the difference? $10,000 horse paying $25 for the whole year, then $1,000 land paying $35. Because the government now want you to keep vacant land. When you go Monrovia, you say that our capital city, people building horses all around. When the people not build the horses, Monrovia will be fine. The horses people build in Zwedru here, when they not build, you say Zwedru fine. That the building can make the place fine. So government now want you to keep the open land, you're not doing nothing with it. That's your choice. If you don't want to build house, government can force you. But when the year end, government will come for the late thing. When you now want to pay it now, then trouble will come. So that vacant land. Then we have another form of land. We call it acre and above. You get land, but the land plenty, more than 1 acre. And a full lot can make 1 acre, but when you get more than 1 acre, it's just sitting down there. The tax on it, now 4.5% of the value of the land. So if you get 2 acres and its value $1,000, you will pay $45 for the whole year. If it's valued $2,000, you will pay $90 for the whole year. You're not doing nothing with the land, just sitting down, but you will be paying the taxes on it. The day you get tired paying the taxes, you will sell it, or you will pay horse on it. When you pay horse on the land now, then the value of the land plus the value of the horse what you pay, now you will start paying the tax on now. Then the tax will reduce. Once you pay horse on the land now, then the tax can come down because government encourage you to develop the land. Then the next one we get farmland. Farmland in the city area is 3% of the value of the land. So if you had a farmland here, you're planting cocoa on it and its value $10,000, you know the 3% of that will be what? Can anybody help us? If it was $1,000, it will be $30. So if it was $10,000, it will be $300 because that land you're doing business on it. We call it commercial farming. Then the last one now under the real estate, the one we call acre and above or farmland outside city and town limit. Like our people, me a Kunambo man, I will give you an example. Whole day Kunambo. Our papa there in Kunambo there will get, I know my uncle, my family people will get more than 2,000 acres of land. That land was supposed to pay on it, but the tax umpire is different. Y'all know the tax for that one? $5 liberty for 1 acre. Every acre you pay $5 liberty. So when you get 2,000 acres, just multiply it by $5 liberty. That your own tax there for the whole year. Because you know that land buy plenty. When government say the value of the land, I want part of the horse price you come and use to pay tax. So government say every acre you get in the interior, you pay $5 liberty. So when you get 200 acre, 100 acre times $5, that's 5,500 Liberian dollar for your 100 acre. So when you're now 1,000, you know how much you pay. So that is the taxes we have to pay on our property. We call it real estate tax. Your house, your land, your lot and above, your commercial property, your residential property. Those are the taxes that you pay on all of those properties. So that is the first kind of tax we discussed this morning. Then the second one and the last one, which we'll be discussing, the business tax. I know some of you here are business people. You do business. We say people who do business, they can pay tax. But you know what? In Liberia, we get different kind of businesses and different kind of taxes. But under those taxes, we group our businesses in Liberia under 3 major groups. We get a large taxpayer, we get a medium taxpayer, then we get a small taxpayer. Then under that small taxpayer, we get a petit trader. Most of y'all here are petit trader and small taxpayers. Now under the petit trader, we get 3 groups again. We get petit trader class A, petit trader class B, and petit trader class C. So let's start with how you can get under that group then. For you to be a large taxpayer in the Republic of Liberia, our tax laws say all the money that you can make in the whole year, we not say every day, we say the whole year, your income for the whole year is more than 30 million Liberian dollars. If your business can give you more than 30 million Liberian dollars for the whole year, we call you large taxpayer. That one you be born now, that company. People will get companies, will get factories that they own side there. Then the next group, we get medium taxpayer. Those are business people who operate the whole year, and the money that they can get from their business is from 3 million Liberian dollars 30 million. You between 3 million and 30 million. Your business can pay about 30 million. Your business can go below 3 million. Sometimes 7, sometimes 12, sometimes 15. That's what you can get for the whole year. We call you medium taxpayer. Then we get a small taxpayer. The small taxpayer are the people who make the whole year the money their business can give them from $200,000 to $3 million. We call those people small taxpayer. Your business can give you between $200,000 and $3 million Liberian dollars. You can go above 3 million, you can go below 200,000. Then you are a small taxpayer, which most of our businesses in Zwedru are. Even though we get medium taxpayers, but most of them are small. Then the last group, the petty traders. Those people, they may market the whole year. All the money they can get from the market, it can pay about 200,000 Liberian dollars. From $1 to 200,000. You can go above, you below. Then we'll call you petty trader. But under that petty trader, then we'll get 3 groups. We'll get class A, class B, and class C. Now, why we get class A, B, and C? We say they are different, even though they are petty trader, but they're different. Now, under the petty trader, some of them get sharp. The man in here, lay small shop, is selling. But the whole year, he can make more than 200,000. So we call him petty trader class A. Because he get fixed structure. He get sharp, he's selling in. Now one part, they own a tax, that only one blow. They pay one time the whole year, they own finish. So when you petty trader class A, you can pay one time the whole year. And if you pay, they give you Liberia flag receipt. I will get my flag receipt right now and show it to you. It's there in my bag. Can somebody please open my bag and take the folder there? I have the receipts in there. Now, they will give you a Liberian flag receipt. Nobody you pay tax to will give you copy bullshit. If they give you copy bullshit, you own your own. Because they will send enforcers here and they come to your shop and ask you, my man, you now pay tax. You say, yeah. Can you please show me your receipt? Then you go bring copy bullshit. They will tell you to go pay over. That one you pay, you own your own. Now for nothing money you pay. Nobody issues you copy bullshit for government tax payment. Okay. You see this? This is a flag receipt. Now, even though it's a little different from the one they will give you in the counter, but it's something just like this. You have the LRA on it. You have the Liberia flag on it. You have the seal on it here. You see this thing? You have the watermark and everything here. This is the Liberian flag receipt. That is what they will issue you if you pay your taxes. Nobody should give you copy book sheet. So let's continue with the tax you're supposed to pay. Petty trader class A, the people who operate in a shop, they own a tax, they pay 2,400 Liberian dollars for the whole year. 2,400 Liberian dollars for the whole year. When you pay that one, your own tax part is finished. You and our tax people, you're not get told again for that whole year until the next year, because at one time you can pay. Then we get a petty trade class B. Those people they selling on table. They get a B table, they put their goods there. In the net, they pack it, they put it in a warehouse, they go home. In the morning, they put it on the table and sell. Now we say they own the class B because they not get permanent structure. They not get sharp. They selling on B table. So the class B. They own a tax for the whole year, 1,200 Liberian dollars for the whole year. That they own a tax there. That class B. Then we get the class C. That the Yana boys, the one that was selling on a small table on rest bed, selling a little bit about the cold water in a cooler. Because we say everybody's supposed to pay, but you pay according to your level. So the people will call them class C. In Zwedru, because Zwedru is a city, the class C people in Zwedru, they pay $480. 480 Liberian dollars for the whole year that the people were in Zwedru. But the people in Ziatan and Kunabo, they were doing business there, the same thing, they own different from the Zwedu people own. They own that $240 for the whole year. Because they own part, they're not in the city, they're in the interior, so they own count down $240 for the whole year. Now the petit trade people there, they own a just one-time payment. Now let's look at the people with the small tax people. They own not just one-time payment. One thing I didn't touch on, I need to tell you, you the business people. In the Republic of Liberia and in any country in the world, nobody can do business without registering your business. If you are a businessman and your business is not registered, you are operating illegally in Liberia, and the Revenue Authority, LRA, has the right to close that business down. Because nobody, whether you are a Liberian, you are a foreigner, you crown man, you grow man, you gio, or you whosoever, before you do business in Liberia, you must register that business. Even if the superintendent of Grand Judea County decides to do business today, he cannot open any store or shop here without registering it. We have the right to come and close it down. Whether you are a senator or your representative or anybody in this country, before you do business, you must register that business. And it's registered at the Liberia Business Registry. Our people here, our collector, they can take the business from you, go to Monrovia, do it there, and bring your receipt, your business registration certificate, and your payment receipt. They bring that to you. Now that paper only makes you to be a legal businessman operating in Liberia. Now all our registration for. After registering, then you start to pay your tax. The first tax that you pay, which everybody, it cuts across the board, whether you are large, medium, or small, you must pay that tax. The first one, we call it withholding on rent. I know our people can count on you, the business people, 10%. That 10%, if you're renting somebody's shop, and the man say you must pay me $1,000 every year to sell in my shop. That $1,000 what you giving to the man, government gets something inside. Because the government say every income is taxable. So 10% of that $1,000, you pay it to our tax people, they give you receipt, then the man who get the place, you give him $900 and you give him copy of the receipt because that the man money you paying. Then now you the businessman paying that money. Now the landlord money what you paying him, that the place you take the 10% from. But you know why we say you the businessman must pay? Because in the past, when we go collect the 10%, all the landlord then we can see them. When you go to the businessman, you pay your 10%. I pay the money to my landlord. Where your landlord? I don't know where he is. Your own landlord, you know where he is. All of them can be living in America. My landlord travel. That only time to collect the money, they can't collect the money, then they give it, they go back. So the government say, oh, now what you want to do? Okay, this time around, we not get time for the landlord. You are selling in a shop that you will pay the 10%. Take it from your landlord money and pay. The government call you withholding agent. You take it from the landlord money and pay it on his behalf. Then you give him the original receipt and you keep the photocopy. When what people come, you show it to them, your owner flower clear. So landlord them can't look for them again. That business people now dealing with. Now the 10% there. When you pay that 10% now, your first tax finish. The second one, we call it business income tax. 4%. Those are the taxes our people can count on you for. That's why I'm explaining to you today. Now, in Liberia, under our tax law, we have what we call self-declaration. If our agent come to you and look at your shop and say this shop here, for the past 3 months, the way your shop be, that 300,000 you made, that's not his duty. He is not supposed to tell you how much you make in your shop. Even though we can audit you, we can know, but you have the right to declare by yourself, to say this is how much I made. But we expect you to be truthful in your declaration. So if you say the whole 3 months I make only $25,000 in my shop, then you pay 4% of that 25,000, and 4% of 25,000 is 1,000. So if for the whole 3 months you make 100,000 in your shop, you will pay 4,000 for 4%, and that money you pay it after every 3 months, which means you can pay it 4 times a year. January, February, March. You pay that one in April. April, May, June. You pay that one in July. July, August, September. You pay that one in October. October, November, December. You pay that one in January. Now the 4 quarters there. Once you can pay that money, no problem for your business. That's the business income tax. And let me tell you one thing. If you are a compliant taxpayer, meaning you somebody who can pay your tax, if people collector come to you, my man, I get money, man, I'm not able to pay tax, and whole small thing. That small thing, when you calculate it more than the taxes you're supposed to pay. So if you just pay your taxes and keep your receipt, it's going to be very good for your business. Because in places like Morovia, even though we are tax collectors, but they get some people who can come and pretend that the tax collector, you now know them. They make kind, you say, look, you're supposed to pay now. Then when you scare it, man, oh, I beg you, I'm ready now. And whole small thing. You know how many people will come to you for small thing? You pay small thing before you go to your business breakdown. So pay your taxes, get your receipt. Anybody come, say, look, my man, I finished paying my tax. Let my receipt here. That man will just get a week and go. So now he tells you, all right, give me transport. That means bring you here before I'm going to give you transport. I get transport for you. That man will find a way and go. So pay those little taxes. Then the next one is called withholding on salary and wages. And some people can employ people to their businesses to work for them. The government say when you employ somebody and you paying them salary, that salary is taxable. But we get what we call threshold. It means anybody who making 70,000 Liberian dollars for the whole year, if you divide that 70,000 into 12, you get like $5,830. Or when we put it in US, it will be around $40 US. Anybody making that amount, no tax. But when you're making above that amount, then you start to pay tax. So when you're paying your people more than 70,000 a year, then every month you pay them, maybe you pay them $50 US, you calculate the tax, you call it and pay it to government on their behalf. If you not do it, the day auditor come and they can't check you and you've been paying your staff, you're not been taking tax, you will pay all that money and will add penalty and interest on it. So pay on the salaries of your staff to avoid problem. Then the last one we treat in this category, we call it withholding on service render. And sometimes you can call people to do some job for you. Government say anything you pay those people, 10% you pay as tax. You call some kind of small company to do work for you, you pay them. That money you pay them, government get 10% there. Pay that 10% to government. If we do all of this, our businesses will be free. Now, even though we can punish people for not paying, but we're not interested in that one. That what we can teach you so that you can pay with your heart willingly, knowing that the taxes you paid is what Liberia depend on. When we pay those taxes, it's going to move our country forward and it's also going to help our businesses. So thank you very much for listening to me. I will now open up the floor for questions and answers.
So it's good that we came, and that's all? Huh? Fine. There is no excuse for ignorance of the law. But a government, a country must educate its people. So we are also doing training for your children. That training is with the school children. Whilst we talk to the older people, we must put in the young people for what they call future tax compliance. 30 to 40 years since 1980, we have not been paying taxes. Now the new children must learn. Right now, it's sounding hard to us because we're not used to it. In America, where most of your children live, and I see them there in Philadelphia and all that, nothing you do without tax. When you walk to the supermarket, you pay any money tax on it. You buy anything tax on it. You buy pepper tax on it. That money they're using to clean America. That all of y'all won't go to. That they think there. Liberia own people want poo-poo, people don't want clean poo-poo. How that possible? Huh? The money I see is where people they cleaning that grass to the superintendent compound way. That's good. They sit it dirty. Oh, you're looking at me. Me, I won't be representative, so I can tell people the truth. Everywhere I go, in my community, I clean up myself. I don't pay people. I do it myself. Every day of my life. Once I'm there. You cannot live in dirt. When you die, they will put you on the ground. How you living then? You're living with dirt. What's wrong with us? This America we're talking about, the people can work more than us. The white people whole day they clean it up. We need to pay the money so we can fix our country up. When we pay, you don't use it, then we'll question you. But you don't get a man once and then you say, why he eating money? What kind of money he eating? Huh? So I beg you, let's also put together to clean Zwedru City. You may not depend on the city mayor alone. Let's clean our city. Let's look better. Look at the city hall. Look around it. So grass. For what? For what? We must keep our surrounding like that. Mrs. Tua, come small. Mrs. Tua is one of those women teaching your children how to pay tax in the future. She will explain to you briefly how they call that group, what they do. Mrs. Catherine Tua is one of the people doing that. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Catherine Tua, representing the LRA. And in the LRA, we have a division that is responsible for taxpayer, education, and answering all taxpayer questions. My colleague and I are from the division. And I'm responsible for educating our school-going children to become tax compliant for tomorrow. Meaning we don't have to force them to go and pay their taxes. They will already have the mind that tax paying is a must. To become a good citizen of a country, you need to be willing to pay your taxes and to know the kind of taxes you're supposed to be paying and the time you're supposed to pay those taxes. And the program is called STEP, the acronym for the School Tax Education Program. The S there represents the school, the T is for tax, and the E, education, P for program. The program is a very good program for our kids. So I want us parents to encourage our children so that they will be able to pay attention and to learn from that program so that they will be able to educate those illiterate or parents that want to pay but they don't know how and when to pay their taxes. Thank you very much.
So that's part of our work, and sometimes your own children, when they learn that we're going to do it tomorrow, day after, even on the day the minister will be here, so that some of our parents who are not here and they know book, and don't blame yourself because you don't know book. Blame the country. We didn't do well for ourselves. So those who don't know book, the children can tell them when no bad revenue agent then come. So the children can tell them. So now the revenue agent ain't here what the man say, whole house $10,000. That $25 you will pay. So now the revenue agent feel that money too small for a whole year. So you will say, man, when I tell you to put $100, man, they will give it quick. $25, what it? Whole year you will pay $100. Then you pay. even though the amount small, but at the law, you should not pay more than your tax. So if we don't educate your children and you, people will cheat you. So we're teaching the children, so when they come to you and say, now $200 for the child can be able to say, no. They're not A. You had the number here, the number you multiply by day one. We will not go into detail with you on that one because we need fresh brain for that one. The man you saw, Mr. Gibson, who works with your children, equation you were seeing there, he know how to do those kinds of calculation with the children. They will learn so that when you're going off track, they can be able to bring them back and say no. So thank you. The dialogue today at Zwedru in Grand Jeddah County, the Horn, at the mouth of the southeast, is taking a break. To be back, we are back at Zwedru today in partnership with the Liberia Revenue Authority, the LRA, with support from the Open Society Initiative for West Africa, OSIWA, and we are on this Rural Community Tax Road Show. Let's talk now. Let's argue. Let me palaver. Nothing wrong with that. The teeth and the tongue must fight so that something can get out. What you say, you agree with us or you don't agree? Come right here. What you don't agree for, you say it so government can hear you. Our job, every time we come here, all over Liberia and the world, we hear you. That's why you see all these machines at work. All right, so you put your hand up and come and make your case, ask a question, make palaver, anything you want to do, just don't fight, don't cost nobody. Come and say what you have to say. Hands up. Yes, sir. Come right there, Chief. On the dialogue, Zwedru today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Colley, and we
Yes,
say thanks to your organization for coming forward to share with us taxes, how to pay taxes, and who to pay taxes, why we should pay, and what are some of the benefits. You know, it is a good thing to pay the tax, because without the tax or without revenue, our country cannot be developed. But we in the Southeast, we are somehow disappointed in past central government because, as you heard from the beginning, our parents were like forced to pay tax, but up to present, you can see the road condition and even some infrastructure when it comes to government funding. So we say it is good. And it is good that you said, come Saturday, you will have the minister, by God help, and all our permanent officials of government to come to the county to see or to ascertain from us what is the best way for us to make our county or our country to be developed, more especially when it comes to road construction. Now, my question to the presenter is that you talk about withholding tax, but you did not tell us what percentage will be applied on the person who will be paying $50, on the person who is making probably annually or on a monthly basis $50 United States dollars, $100 United States dollars and above. Why is a percentage? Why is a threshold? Or probably we can say why is a ceiling and that of the flow? Thank you very much.
Good point.
Thank you very much for that question. Well, for those who collect personal income tax, that is how it's called, the wages and salary from people, we have a tax table that is used. So every employer who takes salary from their staff use that table. But just a little explanation of that table. If you earn, like I said, it's a table that has 4 categories, 4 tables on it. Now the first is anybody making from $1 to 70,000 Liberian dollars per annum, tax free. From 70,001 to 200,000 is 5% of the excess over 70,000. Then from the tier 1 is from 200,000 to 800,000 is 15% plus 6,500 plus 15% of the excess over 800,000. Then the last one is above 800,000, you pay 25% plus 96,000. 25% of the excess over 800,000. Now it's a long table, by just explaining this table, you wouldn't understand it. So accountants work with the table. But if, take for example, you earn $100 US, using that table to calculate, your tax will be in the range of $2.98 or approximately $3. So somebody making $100 US, the person tax will be like $3 for the month. Yeah. $500 will be in a, if the person make 500, will be in the range of $59,
Just
$60.
multiply that by the number.
Yeah.
If it's 100, then if it's 10, 100, then multiply it by 10. Simple as that. And understand the word excess. Excess is simply the one above the figure that he talked about, 70,000. They will not apply that money on 70,000. They will apply it on the one that goes after. So that one that they will take that percent on, right? So that's how it goes. Next person. Come, man, that you're the one can be saying, I'm not paying that tax there. Oh, you can't ask question. That you're tapping. They think that now, please, business, you will pay. So you can't ask question. My man, wrong, man. Your man, like you acting jelly. Yeah. What's up?
Okay. My name is Isaac Hime. My question has to do with the land vacant.
The vacant land.
The vacant land.
Yeah.
What will become the land if maybe the person bought the land and then after they pass on? So how will government handle that one?
When the person die?
Yes.
Oh.
And then the second question is
entitled to one.
Oh, entitled
one person one. Go past that question. You say when the person die, what will happen? Yes. But who will catch now? Who will send you to go for the? Okay, so what happens to the land?
All right.
All right, there you go.
Every piece of land in this country, some way or somehow, has an owner. So if the owner die, he get people behind him. If family people will take the land.
So you didn't get
anybody who take the land and then will pay.
No, you not answer the man question yet. They got some funny men there. They will go, they lead the woman down. They go buy their land different place. Maybe they think on stronger than later. Then they not show the land to the woman, but they die. A free land there now. What will happen to that land?
Yeah, so like I'm saying, under our tax law, we don't have a free land. Every land, some way or somehow, has an owner. So, if you buy the land and nobody know, and we go there, if government find out that nobody coming forth to claim the land, then our government land.
Good. That's the answer.
If the owner is there, then you pay the taxes on it. So maybe the day government can't claim the land, now that time people will start running, coming down my land. Then we'll see you now, you can't pay the tax on it.
There is no free land, in short. Any land either for you or for the government. That's what he's trying to say. Yes, sir.
Well, Anthony Zebe once more. For me, I'm convinced and I agree that we should pay tax. And you talk about the receipt, like nobody should get you wet paper. We should have the flare receipt. And later, we found out from the agent, from the revenue, with our wet paper, and he brought it to me. What's the next action behind it from the government?
If the revenue agent do what?
If you bring wet paper to him.
Wet paper now, instead of bringing the receipt.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's very simple. If you pay your taxes, you demand a flag receipt, which is the legal thing you're supposed to receive. If the collector tell you he don't have the flag receipt there, keep your money until he bring the flag receipt. Because capable sheet and not flag receipt.
Do not give your money to anybody who does not have that receipt we show you. That fake man, a lie. If the revenue agent come, the me man you know, he come with false paper, telling to hell with you. They're not the government paper there. And they come. All right.
My name is Pastor P.M. Chajugwea. I was the one who did the opening prayer.
Yes, ma'am.
We are aware that there is no country that will forge ahead without taxes being paid in our country. And as my son was going through the deliberation, I was taking serious note, and I understood well what the process is like. But my question is, when would this take effect?
Oh, the tax
Thank you.
business, the house own.
In this region,
Thank you very much.
Oh,
since
Yeah.
the war,
it's not happening.
it has not really gone, around
Okay.
like people going from house to house, maybe residential or this and that. The only thing we see revenue officers going to business centers, but
Okay.
to, like the residential and other things, it has not really kicked off.
All right.
Thank
you.
You're right.
Thank you very much for that question. Now, the real estate or the real property tax took effect since the coming of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Now, since 2011, she said all taxes on houses beyond 2006, then all taxes beyond 2006 were waived. So from 2006 to present, you should be paying. However, you will not pay taxes for those time, but you will only pay 5 years backwards, meaning 4 years behind, and current year making it 5. So once you pay your 5 years from the beginning, you will not pay again. You'll only be paying 1 year now. So take for example 2014, 15, 16, 17. You pay. You are clear backwards. Then you pay for your 18, making it 5 years. Then you are clear. 2019 now you just pay for your 1 year. 20 you pay for your 1 year. So it's inexistent. It started ever since in Monrovia. We've been carrying it on, but now we have to roll it throughout the counties. Time is coming, our people will come here, they will map all the houses.
And her question is, what time?
It has started, it's on. You can go to our revenue people right now, declare your property. What you need to do, you give them your land deed and the value of your property. They will give you a form. You will fill the form and they will do something for you. We call it tax identification number. They will bring that paper to Monrovia. You fill the paper, they will carry it to Monrovia. Will do your tax identification number. Then you will pay on your property and they will give you your flag receipt. Once you have it now, you are clear. So payment is ongoing as we speak.
So it's not enforcement now per se. You must be willing. Like President George Weah said when they launched the mobile tax money, he said, look, he told Efrida Tamba, he said, look, the place we come from, and he meant where he was living, you don't force people to pay, you encourage them to pay. In the Liberian context, sometimes you can force it. But right now, you be good, declare and pay, so that you don't fall in trouble. My man, your time. Yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. One thing want to mean that I really expect the LRA agent of this county to be here and listen to the conversation because it is important. We've been facing them daily, carrying on because we have our clients who want to, in her hearings with the law, decide to pay their taxes as per law. It is so good for them that the tax code is not that active because the judge is ill, because they should have been taken for justice for giving excessive tax that is not in line with our law. We fought 10% until we had to direct them to the 2011 medical. I said about, I think 2%, but it's so good that you said 1.5% of residential tax and real estate tax. But we will fight up to 10% Recently, they considered onto 1.5%. But my question is, with the urban era, the urban fallen era, from this flyer and from the code, they said 1%, but you said 3%. So I beg I want to please provide that clarity. What is the internal policy?
Yeah, on which one? On which one? There are differences there. You check there.
Farm in urban areas, 1%.
Yeah, 1/3 farm in urban area. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the same. Yes.
Thank you.
So you're right. Now, so like he's rightly saying, everything we say here is going according to the law. So it's good that you come and also get to understand, because if the agent comes to you and says something different, you know how to defend yourself, and that's the essence of these things.
Picking you will talk, but the old man then come, man, you come. Yeah, we're coming to you, Bob. Yeah, keep your beat. Yes, and you know that you're ready to pay the tassel. All right.
Okay, first of all, my name is Jeanette M. Slarion.
Okay, Jeanette.
I want to understand something our brother said.
Yes.
He said that if you have a store and you decide to employ workers on the store, then if you pay them, there must be a percentage to the tax collector. But one thing I don't understand, I want to know what are the owner of the store, he will be paying a percentage.
Thank you very much. Now, Omar, that one we call it withholding on salary and wages. If you employ people, if you employ people and they're working for you and they are making above 70,000 per annum, meaning when you divide 70,000 by 12, you get $5,830, something in that range. Or when you put it in a US dollar using our rate today, it will be around $40 US. If your staff making that money, no tax, you give them the money. But take for example, you employ somebody and you paying them $100 US. Then now you paying that money, you taking it from on the man's salary and pay it to government on his behalf. That's what they call salary and wages. So before you get him $100, you take out, I think $2.98 or $3. You take it from there, pay it to government. You're not giving it to the tax collector. That's not his money, that government money. That he just collecting it.
You satisfied?
Money.
Or you want to say something?
What I'm seeing in our country, job, there is no job facility. Then if you put that pressure on that store owner, he will not like to employ people. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but you won't go let him go.
No.
You operate store here, you gotta pay.
Let's understand it. That money not coming from your pocket.
Nah.
That the money what you paying to the man, that the man paying the tax, that not you. So you should be happy to employ. You don't go and get a man a salary, then you look for extra money and pay.
Wait, that your salary, and you're working for store, that your salary we're taking the money from. We're only asking him to do it. So that because you're plenty, we can't be chasing everybody. So that man will take the money from your salary and keep it. So that not his money, that your money. You got more. You got plenty of questions. Your question will not finish today. Until you come. Don't worry.
Some business people can take that money from the people's salary
when
and
we
go
finish,
keep
you can be homeworking the man, yeah? So you can understand it. They want a radio talk. Come on. Yeah. Yo, we gotta pay. So we can move. Come on. Hello, man. Come closer.
You know, my standing here.
Come closer, my yeah.
Okay. My standing here, where satisfy me. I agree to pay the tax.
Okay.
Because I know that the tax holding is very low. Anytime it rains, then we eat here. So I agree to pay the tax. But the thing what I want you to do for me, you must put it on paper. Then anytime somebody bring piece and some clear paper, then I say my children you come. You must relating to me. They will see what the people bring to me. You must pre-come.
Which one? Like you get how?
I get house.
How much you use to pay the how?
Huh?
How much you use?
No, I say, and you won't say can now.
No, you talk it. We will catch you by your own
No, we
word.
part of horse now. Me, I say I agree to pay the.
Yeah, but how much you pay that how way?
And you be paid and bidding her, and you be bidding you her, and you put all the money together, you will be confused.
Okay.
It's good to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But they my tithe. I agree to pay the tithe. But that's very road where they always get up. And they say from June, July. From July to August, September now then we in gay.
Yeah.
Thing where we sort of pay $10 and they say $100 that you forced to buy it. Then I get there. So that I agree to pay the tithe, but they roll. Then you must give me paper. If you say we move from here, I'll load the place where you're starting so you'll read my uncle. Anytime somebody want to keep me, I say no. My children can't read it for me.
That's true.
That's all I stand here for.
I will go see that horse there. Then I will tell you what you're supposed to pay.
The man will come, you look at the house and say,
all right.
Okay.
Okay, Omar.
So to answer you, yeah, that tithe they're holding the roll. You must pay that tithe so they can.
But you not pay the tithe, the roll will not face.
That's my man time. Yeah, already you right. That tithe they're holding the roll.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Zade Allison Donno.
You Mr. Glay?
My name is Zade Allison Donno.
Oh, Zagle, okay.
Yeah. I have a question, and one will be going along with the Omar.
Only one you got.
Yeah. But what I want to understand, now we are saying you pay tax. And something he spoke of that I understood from him, like withholding on, you said what?
Withholding taxes.
Or withholding salary, right? Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to know if there would be an education for those who are, the owner of the estates that we are renting. Like business person is renting a house, and if he's renting from me, I might escape from paying the tax. So if I escape tomorrow, if you met him at the shop, now he might cut my money from my rent. So in case I hold him, what really will prevent him from that trouble is one. So I was adding to her now a question would recommend that there should be a brochure, that will guide the citizens in the process. Because if you ask me why you cut off my rent, I will show you the paper that had the government signature on it, they seal everything on there. You will never argue with me. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, like you said, the 10%, what I explained earlier on, they take it from all your money. They pay on your behalf if you are the owner of the property. But the receipt is for you. Then the photocopy is for the man who renting in your place. But again, when our collectors go to town, we'll print those brochures, all of the real estate brochures and other. I saw somebody with one here, and I'm sure he got it from the collectors. So when they go to town, they give them those brochures and they bring them. So it helps to educate you further. Yeah, those brochures are there. So when they tell you something, they should show you it on a paper. Yes.
Thank you. Man come, then the man with the yellow. Kind. We're taking 4 more people and go.
Hello.
Yes.
Standing before you, my name is Rebecca Dugwe. I really want to ask and really appreciate.
Come closer so we can hear you.
I want to appreciate the group by your coming in the county to educate us. Because some of us we've been doing business for the past almost 2007 to this time. Now, my first question is, when you build a horse, when the tax correction comes, they are not have right to ask you how much you pay the horse, how much you used to pay the horse. They will only look at the bidding and tell you, say, you're supposed to pay $100 US, $150 US. It's supposed to be so. My second question is...
We say only one, but you already so you see, you come and get our hat on here.
Please.
Okay.
The petri trader that you're talking about.
Yeah.
the registration fee is every year when you want to do business, you're supposed to pay.
All right. Thank you very much,
I
Omar.
want to ask another question, please.
Oh, no. On the two now. No. You stop right there. Go.
You
go
and myself will talk on that one, yeah.
Go put a give it to somebody.
Bring all your questions, I will answer.
When you finish, you bring you 10 questions today, man.
Now, the real estate, that question you ask is very important. We get a commercial and a residential, that's what we say, right? Under the residential property that you build for you and your family, you can declare the value. You yourself can declare how much you build your house. The only thing we can do, we can give you advice. You know that advice?
And when we say declare, you can say.
You will tell us my house, that $5,000 I used to build my house. Then that $5,000, they will apply your tax on. $5,000 for the whole year, at $12.50. So when you declare that one, then they charge you that value. But from the beginning, it can be plenty because you're paying for 5 years. When you pay that first one, you finish. The next time you pay now, that only $12.50 you pay. So they can do the calculation. You will see the money. Nobody will cheat you.
Her main concern is something binding her. The question is that the tax revenue agent supposed to say the amount, or that you supposed to say.
Yeah, that is what I'm coming to. Now you will tell him how much you pay your house. Like I said, we'll give you advice. Take for example, our Oma here buy a horse. She use $50,000 to buy a horse. Then the tax people come. Because she now want to pay plenty tax now, she tell the person my horse value $10,000. You and that man get argument. The man say, all right, $10,000. The man calculate $10,000. That $25 you supposed to pay. You pay, you go. Tomorrow, in the Constitution, the government gets some kind of right. They call it eminent domain. Maybe they say the whole year they play air, government discover they get diamond here. And a government land, government say already land here, I want you say. All the people get horses here, they will break it down. When they were paying the road, and they broke people horses down. So your 50,000 horse, you say that 10,000, you pay 10,000 tax only, $25. When government come, government won't pay, say, oh, they my horse here, why you want break down? That 50,000. Government say you get proof? Yeah, I pay tax, bring your tax people, they go load that 10,000. That 10,000 government will give you. Now your 50,000 loss. So for tax business, you go bring your horse down. In the future, you can lose. Some people can use that horse to take loan from the bank. They go to the bank, they say my horse worth 50,000. Government say go to LRA, go bring your payment receipt. You go bring your receipt, they go loan it 10,000. Maybe you wanted to take 20,000 from the bank. You can't get 20,000 again because your horse not value 50,000. It's value 10,000. That price what you put there. So you must be careful how you value your house.
So in short, you can save yourself or you can destroy yourself. You got the right to say how much you pay the house, because the government don't get a machine to check every house. So they leave it with you to decide how much you pay your house. And you hear me asking the old lady how much you pay your house? She said, me, I know, I can't count everything I did. Now, in that situation, then a good revenue agent will say, man, they have here, I think it cost they want. You accept it, we must take it like that. You and him have to have an agreement. A good revenue agent, and you are right. I don't know why your people running away from these forums. But these forums are on the radio, you all listen to them. Everywhere we go, didn't want to come there. I observe it. I will be telling Frida that thing. Every place we go, the revenue agent, they don't want to come there. I don't know why. The point is, already, even if you are supposed to declare your house and you don't know, he should work with you. Say, hey man, they how here? When you say 10,000, you say no man, they how low like 15. Oh. The thing what Gabi said, Jenna, he will tell you, say, time come here. The day they won't bring you house down, that thing will go up. Oh. So let's put it up small. You and he agree on it. But he ain't got no right to tell you, you pay the house like that. He ain't know where you come from with your house. But you also must be careful. Because you bring the price down, and then time come, they won't build road there, then you can't go bring plenty of money. The government say, but yeah, the thing on paper, the thing you show other area, what you will say. And you see, remember how they were paying for other house? That yellow man before you. Come. Yes.
My name is Ikemef Sebastian.
Sebastian? Go ahead, Bob.
I have issue on quarterly payment.
Please do. Go ahead.
You say it's 4% of total income.
Yes.
So you have to explain to us the difference between the gross income and the profit.
Aha.
Because, for instance, I am selling rice.
Okay.
I start the business with $10,000, which is, let me say, 1.4 million by 140 rate.
Yes.
And if I divide it, I have about 666 bags of rice. Maybe, for instance, that 666 bags is something that I will be able to sell within the 3 months, which is the first quarter. Then, and the profit in each bag is $200 Liberian. When I check it, then I will make a profit of $133,200 Liberian. Yeah? Then, if you say that I should pay the 4% of my total sales, which is my capital, which means I'm giving government $60,000 Liberian. And is within that money, my profit 133, I pay the house rent, I take care of my family, I do other things. So meaning that is, maybe a government is even digging hand into my capital. Because in economics, we know what is called profit before tax and the profit after tax. So I believe that is my own profit they are to be looking at, but not gross sales, because there are some businesses that even sell lesser profit than rice.
I see you shaking your head. Why? Come. That's why we came here to agree.
Can we talk to?
Let her. She's shaking her head. Let her say something.
Yes, the reason I'm shaking my head while he was making his comment is that from our brother presentation, our son presentation, I understood clearly that he said the excess means we're not going into the capital. We are going to the profit.
Okay.
The profit of what I gain out of the business. My capital is already aside.
So you imagine he did not understand.
I believe he did not understand.
Is that the truth?
No, I will give the clear explanation.
And that's exactly why it was good for her to come.
So let me guide us all.
Yes.
Now, for my Oma, that excess is on salary and wages.
I was about to say.
For people who get salary and wages. However, your concern is an age-old concern. We've been attacked on many occasions by this concern. But again, it is because you are under that category, small business. Most of our business people have reached the medium size, but they don't want to graduate. They want to remain as small businesses. The disadvantage of a small business is you pay business income tax 4%, and that amount is paid quarterly. You pay the 4% on your gross 4 times a year, and you are finished. Otherwise, if you were under the medium and the large tax, it is different, because at the end of the year, you have to do what we call annual filing. Under those categories, you pay 25% of your profit to government as tax, which is not the same with small taxpayers, because most of our small taxpayers don't want to keep records. They don't want to do record keeping. They don't want to file. They just want to be free, pay their 4%, and they are done.
So if I get
and
you,
that is what is
so you clear his doubt. So you clear his doubt. It's a way of punishing people who are trying to do bad business. So you're not acting on their profit. You're acting on gross, because people are not trying to live right. Is that the reason?
That's it.
Okay.
So it's called presumptive tax.
There you go.
Whether you make profit or not, you have to pay that 4% on your gross. But
So
if you are medium and large, it's different.
It's because of bad apples in the basket that they're treating you like that. So pray that there will be good apples so they can start taxing you on your profit. And you are right. You are right, but I hope you're not one of those who go high and still there. My man way over there. Yeah. All right. Good conversation. Good talk.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
My name is Fidel Heron H. Blaze. My concern here have to do with I don't really understand about the driver for motorcyclists, the truck driver, the taxi driver, and the fisherman.
Which one you doing?
Because according to you, you said that in every area have to pay tax.
Yes.
So you motorcyclist and you driving car like truck or taxi, and also you go to the fisherman over the river of the country.
Which one you doing?
Which one I'm doing? I want to know this what I'm doing. I'm teaching.
You never speak for yourself. Which one you doing?
Get it clear.
Okay.
All right, my brother. The motorcyclist, the driver.
Listen
the cars,
listen.
Everybody pays tax.
Listen.
However, there are different line ministries under the government agencies that collect. However, the money they collect goes to the general revenue account. We have other people that are responsible for certain areas, like people who are digging gold, the miners. They pay taxes. You must have your mining license. You pay for that license to Ministry of Lands and Mines. Motorbikes registered at the Transport Ministry. Your cars and everything, those are all taxes. It is not the LRA that will collect those ones, but we are responsible. We are in charge of all because we gave the flag receipt. When you go there to pay, you meet our people there and you pay to the general revenue account. So everybody in every sector has their own tax to pay.
So you simply try to tell me that these guys go to the area and pay and get them received?
Yes. If you come to Monrovia, under the Ministry of Public Works or Lands and Mines, our officers are all there. They give you receipts and you pay to the general revenue account.
Yes, man, come. All right. There's a countdown from 4, number 3. After that woman, one person will close. Oh, hey, yeah. Okay, ma, you black, 2 of you, woman to woman, you can for it. She was on the floor. Where's mama? You can. We've been cheating the woman here. You're not fair. Can you, ma?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Come closer.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, standing before you, I'm Agnes M. Johnson.
Okay, Agnes.
I want to know, we all agree to pay our taxes.
Come closer so we
But
can hear
something
you.
that I want to know, if you are living Zedri here and you got your land in Monrovia, how will you get to the LRA to pay your taxes?
Thank you very much. You live in Zwedru and you have your land in Monrovia. Now your land in Monrovia, I know you can go to Monrovia. If you are in Monrovia, the first thing you need to do to pay on your land, you must have a tax identification number. The form is here, it's also in Monrovia. When you walk to our office, you bring your ID card and your passport size picture. You photocopy that, we attach it, they do your TIN number for you, then they give you a paper. You fill in that paper and attach your land deed to it. Then based on the value of the land, they will do your bill and you pay. And
I think the question
if you are in Zwedru here and you want to pay for your land, that land is not here in Zwedru, it's in Monrovia. So these guys here, if they want to do the bill, they will not do it here. They can do it on your behalf, photocopy of your land deed, your TIN form, and they can carry it to Monrovia. They do the bill, they raise it, they pay there for you and bring your receipts to you. It is possible.
But to answer you, anywhere you buy land, get ready to pay there. You went there to buy the land. Why are you asking all about tax payment here now? And you went to Montreal, you buy land there, go there and go pay. The same way you must send the money
Send
to
it there, they will pay it there for you.
Okay, man, thank you.
The old man was standing.
Yes, and they come. Then we'll dash the place now with that man. Come, please. Very well. That is the question?
All right. My name is Felicia Tongi.
Come closer. Felicia.
My name is Felicia Tongi. And I was just coming to say what she took. So let me just add different thing there. The land is being bought and not being developed. Is that person allowed to pay tax?
Oh, that the main people will bill you more. You're the one who want pay how in the country.
We said that before you came in. The undeveloped land is more expensive than the building, the developed land. So you have to pay on it.
Okay, my man.
If you can't develop it, give it all.
In fact, they rent on that one more than the house. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll take you a second dash, then we'll close. Yeah? My man can now, but are you bluffing also?
Yeah, I'm bluffing. How are you?
Yeah,
fine,
what's up?
Fine.
I'm Morris Sherry.
Okay, Morris.
I said right.
You said right?
Yeah.
How many burger right I say every day?
That's what I'm trying to count on now to ask to understand it.
Okay.
All right.
Because we know that the rapper will consume red too much.
Yeah.
But when they put into value the full 10% payment, they want to ask you how much you make daily. And they read that over there, you spend more money to buy, but you get small profit inside.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can always confuse her how to do the right business. So the government will say, well, that's free today. But if you buy when you come to your door, they say, motel, then I'm going to make daily, so we can time down one.
But you don't want to talk that one, my man?
They tell me, I suggest that if the government can agree, let them time the what you getting from inside, but it's not time the back road that follow the horse.
Yeah.
You can get a hard time.
That's the same thing the man said.
Same thing that man said. So
I agree with you, Morris.
We carry that one to our people.
But they say, Morris, they say that you're causing the problem. Many of you in one grow from small to big. That's what they say. They say, many of you now who making more money. You don't want to say you a big business man. You want to say you small man. They say that what bringing the trouble.
Yeah. So you are graduate to medium tax payer. When you go to medium tax now, you will not suffer again.
Exactly.
You will pay on your profit.
Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Amadou Barry.
Yes, Amadou. Go ahead.
My question concerns about the registration for yearly.
Registration per year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yearly registration. Foreigners and citizens are get the same registration fee every year, or they got a difference?
Right.
One. Secondly, how much is for registration to commerce for a businessman?
Thank you very
if
much.
you are a citizen.
Thank you very much.
If you are a citizen.
All right, my brother. Registration, like I said from the beginning, everybody has to register, whether you are a foreigner or a citizen. Now, when it comes to the tax payment, all of you pay the same tax, but registration is what is different. If you are a Liberian and you go to register what we call sole proprietorship, meaning one man business, you alone, your lay business, we call it sole proprietorship. As a Liberian, you pay 2,000 Liberian dollars. But if you are not a Liberian, a foreigner, you pay 700 US. That is it. Every country you go in, it is not only Liberia. The foreigner registered higher than the citizen. Liberians registered 2,000 Liberian dollars for sole proprietorship, and a foreigner pays 700 United States dollars for sole proprietorship every year. That one, that law, that not me say it, that one in the book. So when the people telling you, they're not lying to you. That is what is on the book.
All right. The other debate I want to bring, the pastor gone? Why the pastor goes soon like that? We want to bring the debate about whether the church and the Muslim pay. So people making profit, don't mind that. I know they will say Jesus will catch me, but they will talk that thing. I know they will get on me like nobody been there. But those people making a lot of money. They are running schools. Schools are businesses. And they are even charging more than government schools. more than people private schools, they should pay. But I will be opening that debate soon. I know you ain't like that one, but me, I won't be president. So I'm not worried about y'all. So thank you. That's another debate. It's been an excellent thing. My old man Tamba will can't tell you goodbye now. Bonga Fali Tamba, the man who will bring us. Tamba, a word of advice on taxation before we go. Y'all listen to that last statement, then we close. But you see how it was good for us to argue, then we can understand each other now. You know, but the imam there and the pastor there, I know they will not agree with me. But we'll put that tax burden on that. Yeah. Thank you,
Okay,
Tamba.
my people, I'm very, very glad to be here with you all today again. What I want to say to you lastly is that let us all make sure we pay our taxes, because it is from these taxes that we will be able to pay all government workers and be able to do some good thing for our country. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the dialogue today has come to a close. This is why we must talk. Even when we vex, we talk it better. Don't keep it inside. The people who can tie their faith, they can't live long. No people who tie their faith whole day. Enough small energy you need to tie your faith. I beg you, let's talk it. Let's talk it so that we can be able to fix it. Without much to do, we want to say, let's stand up for the national anthem to leave. The national anthem of Liberia. My name is John Colley. Goodbye. Do call debates and the dialogue here. We are here, this glow of liberty shall long be ours. Though no mighty be One, two, three, four. Long live Liberia, happy land. All right, so tomorrow your children quizzing begins. We want one school from this region, from this county. Only one school like that every year. This year, last year, owned Fatima won. Fatima beat all the schools in the city. Your trial this year, your team has been very strong. And Nixon Gallo, strong team. We hope they can do something. Y'all pray for that, yeah? So thank you for supporting our work, supporting yourselves. Goodbye tomorrow. Saturday, don't forget. We hopefully have the minister here to talk with us. Thank you.